Mistakes by young players are inevitable in the majors. But it's part of the process, with the promise of a bright future. The Rangers' youth movement was forced due to injuries to their star players. The White Sox, a premeditated rebuild. In the end, it presents an opportunity for names like DeShields, Abreu, Profar, Moncada, Kiner Falefa, and Anderson. All looking to achieve star power, so that one day we're left saying, I knew him when.
The Rangers and the White Sox, middle game of our three-game series here tonight at Globe Life Park. And that's right, Rookie and Smokey the horse bobblehead. Rookie not horsing around in the background, though. He's getting ready for this one tonight. Rangers trying to make it 2 in a row over the White Sox. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond. Tom Grieve will be alongside here very shortly. The Rangers, another win yesterday. They've now won 10 of their last 12 games. And when that's the case, oftentimes it means you're getting good starting pitching. And certainly for the Rangers, that has been the story. The last 9 games, starters have won 6. That's most in Major League Baseball. All the other ancillary numbers among the best in baseball, including the whip, walks, and hits per innings pitched. Second best in baseball, less than 1 per inning, and right about 15 pitches per inning. So they have been very efficient in this stretch. And now we bring in the star of our little television program. Here is Tom Grieve. And Tom, you know, a lot of times it comes down to the veteran leadership and a pitching staff. And certainly Bartolo Colon has done a great job this year in that role.
Well, you can tell he's been a leader by the way the young pitchers flock to him and try to get his counsel. His last start against the Twins really was a lesson in how to pitch. He changed speeds, he had excellent movement on his pitches, and as always, very good location. He didn't win the game. He lost 2-0 to Jose Barrios, but he pitched 7 innings, only gave up a couple of earned runs. He had a walk and 5 strikeouts. When you look at the pitching list for Latin-born pitchers, Bartolo Colon has passed Juan Marichal for the most wins by a pitcher from the Dominican Republic. He's 1 away from Nicaraguan Dennis Martinez on the all-time list. A win tonight would tie Dennis Martinez.
Yeah, always a little shot at history when you have Bartolo Colon going out there. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for the White Sox, they're sending a young guy out there, just 24 years old, but Carlos Rodon is one of the best.
He is. He's a very good young pitcher. In 2014, he was the 3rd overall pick in the draft, so he came into professional baseball highly touted. Came off the disabled list on June 9th. He's had 4 starts. They've gone very well, especially his last start against Oakland. 8 innings, 2 runs, didn't walk a batter, and in 8 innings only threw 99 pitches. This guy's a good young starting pitcher. He'll be a definite formidable foe tonight for the Rangers.
Indeed, middle game of this series. Yesterday it was home run derby, and Robinson Chirinos was in the middle of that. We're going to put him in our spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. A pretty busy night here tonight in Margaritaville this evening. Yeah, there's your cheeseburger in paradise right there. It is the middle game of this series, and our Shiner Box Spotlight tonight features Robinson Chirinos. How about this? Last 5 games, has an extra base hit in all of them. You go back to the series in Minneapolis, he's hitting home runs. In fact, he has homered now in 3 of his last 4 games. He's also been hit 3 times in this 5-game stretch. But Robinson Chirinos driving the ball with authority of late, adding to this offensive punch these days. And for more on Robinson Chirinos, we check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, Robinson talked to me earlier in the week about kind of the turning point for him as far as his performance at the plate. He said when he was in Kansas City, Martin Perez was throwing a simulated game. He was one of the batters in that game. He had noticed something with his lower half. He wanted it to be tighter so he could be more in attack mode and connect on that fastball more. He said he got the feeling in that simulated game with Perez, and he basically just embraced that feeling, carried it with him into the game that next day, and it has transversely continued to carry with him. And you see there the average in the last 5 games, the RBIs, the home runs, everything working for Robinson Chirinos. He said he just got a hold of that feeling and he's not going to let it go.
Good. I hope he doesn't, because it's been working out beautifully for him and for the Rangers, as Bartolo Colon just about set to go tonight against the Chicago White Sox. 28-53. Now the White Sox today, their lineup starts off with a switch hitting second baseman, Yoan Moncada. Yolmer Sanchez at third base bats second. Then it's Jose Abreu, and then the Garcias, Avisail and Lurie in left field, and then Matt Davidson, the DH. Tim Anderson at short. Omar Narvaez catching, and Adam Engel in center field rounds it out.
And for Bartolo Colon, let's take a look at his pitch arsenal. One thing you know about Bartolo Colon, he will throw a lot of fastballs. Between the 2-seam and 4-seam fastball, 80% of the time, you're going to see one or the other. He'll mix in a changeup, he'll mix in a slider, but if everything's going well as far as movement, location, changing speeds, he won't throw many sliders or changeups. It'll be pretty much all 2-seam sinking fastballs with an occasional 4-seamer.
45 years old, still getting after it, and his first pitch is rolled right back up the middle by Moncada for a base hit.
Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered by Methodist Health System. Ryan Rua gets the start in left field. Delano DeShields is in center. Nomar is in right field. And the infield, Jurickson Profar will be at third. Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor up the middle. Joey Gallows at first. And the hot-hitting Robinson Chirinos is behind the plate.
So we get started tonight just a little bit after 8 o'clock. And it's still 95 degrees at game time. Moncada aboard, and here is Yolmer Sanchez, and he takes strike one. Sanchez did not play yesterday. 257 average, 5 home runs, and Sanchez missed yesterday's game, and he left with a bruise on his thigh the other day in Minneapolis, like in the 13th inning, and then did not play in yesterday's game. But he's fine, back in there today. Good offensive weapon for Rick Renteria, and count 0-2 on Sanchez.
He took just a little bit off to Sanchez. Fastball that Moncada hit was 86 miles an hour. A couple that Yolmer Sanchez has looked at have been 83, 84 miles an hour. And that's what he does. Adds one here, mile an hour here, takes one off here, makes it sink inside, outside.
This one soft liner right over third base, and Sanchez is on. Moving to third base, Moncada. Sanchez will go to second.
That's a pretty good pitch to Sanchez. You can see Robinson has his glove down and away. The pitch is not a strike. With 2 strikes, Sanchez is just up there protecting the plate. He actually swings at a ball that's 4 or 5 inches outside, but he kind of cues it toward the end of the bat, keeps it fair, slices near the tarp, and turns into a second and third no-out situation.
Tough start for Bartolo Colon. Now he has to work with the heart of the order, Jose Abreu. 47 RBIs, most on the team. Ground ball shortstop. The throw will come to the plate. The tag, and they got him.
Now that's a great play right there. You can count on one hand the amount of times you'll see that play made in a big league game in a 2 or 3 year period. The infield's back. They're conceding a run. You've got a pretty good runner at third base. in Yoan Moncada. Elvis fields the ball on the outfield grass and throws him out at the plate. And it's not a hard hit ball right at him. He had to backhand that ball, makes a perfect throw. Robinson makes it impossible for Moncada to get to home plate. And a second and third no-out jam turns into first and second, 1 out and no run scored. That's just a superb play by Elvis.
Really,
wow,
really is amazing. And now a ground ball, and Colon can be out of the inning. Well, that is fantastic.
And that ball, I would, well, you can't say 100% about anything, but I would say 99 times out of 100, maybe 97 or 98. That's just a throw to first base and the run scores.
Garcia lifts this one out into right center field, hanging up for a bit. DeShields gets there though, and that is out number 2. Yolmer Sanchez advances to third base, but there are 2 gone.
When you play the infield back like that, which you would in the first inning with men on second and third, nobody out, you're saying to the other team, if it's a ground ball to shortstop, we're going to give you the run. We're giving up the run. We want to make sure we're playing back so we have a better chance to field the ball and make an out at first base. If he's playing in, maybe that ball finds a hole. But Elvis just sensed that it got to him quickly enough. Maybe Moncada didn't get a tremendous jump at third base. Felt like he had to throw to the plate. When he let go of the ball, I think the first thing he said is there's no way he's going to get him.
Andrews takes this bounder and will force out Abreu at second base to end the inning. How about that? A single and a double to start the frame. And on 7 pitches, Colon gets out of it. No harm done. Just amazing play by Elvis Andrews. Jeff Bannister today is giving Shin-Soo Choo the day off. He has a tight quad. They had an MRI done on it today, but Choo not in the lineup. So a little bit of a surprise when we got to the ballpark today in that regard. And we'll expound on that just a little bit for those who haven't been following the Choo story lately. That means Delano DeShields back in that leadoff spot. There's Choo. Has a 41-game on-base streak currently in tow. So you just expect him not only to be in the lineup, but on first base, and usually pretty quickly in the ball game. 1 strike pitch to DeShields. Bouncer left side of the infield. Anderson is there. 1 away. With that in mind, let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. DeShields, obviously. Then it's Elvis Andrews at short. Mazzara in right field. Adrian Beltre's the DH tonight. Rougned Odor bats 5th at second base. Profar at 3rd. Chirinos catching and batting 7th. Gallows 8th. And Ryan Rule gets the start in left field tonight, batting 9th.
What do you think Moncada was thinking when that ball came home? He had to be shocked.
Probably shocked.
When he had to slide and he was out. He had to be wondering, did I see that right? Was he really playing back? He must have been shocked. And, you know, with the infield back like that, if you're the runner at third, it doesn't occur to you that you have to get a really good jump and sprint home. You just think you're going to get there easily.
You know, it's such a quick moment, but I'm wondering if part of him even thought, like, oh, please, Chirinos trying to deke me? I mean, really? That was a great play, man. And we've seen some really good defense lately. You know, and that oftentimes manifests itself in just great athleticism and whatnot. But it was the decision making, the instinct. This one over third base, foul. 2-2. Here's a play we're talking about at the top of the inning.
Let's keep an eye on Moncada at third. Oh, can't see him now. He knew he had to slide. Oh, here it is. I don't know if that was a full-out sprint, but he didn't loaf. He didn't walk home. Robinson pretty much had the home plate area buried. He couldn't get to home plate. The bat that the hitter dropped was in the way. Things conspired against Moncada on that one. He's probably out at second base wondering how it happened.
Oh, you pointed it out too. I mean, he's a good base runner. They're a great base running team. They've stolen
a lot of aces. They've got speed up and down the lineup.
Yeah, that's one where you just have to chalk it up to Elvis. It's one thing if that ball's hit right at him, but when he had to go in the hole and backhand it like that, it just never occurred to probably anybody on the field that the throw was going home.
Broken bat roller to third, and Sanchez throws out Elvis. 2 away. Well, Nomar Mazar is our TXU Energy power player to watch. And here's why. Last 10 games hitting .400. Driven in more than a run per game, 12 RBIs. And 6 of the 10 games have been multi-hit games. Nomar was a big part of the attack yesterday. 3-run homer in the second. Had the double, scored a run in the 6th inning. Swinging a very good bat. And this little surge, such that it is, has the average up to 281 for Nomar. 15 home runs. He's also 5th in the league now with 54 RBIs. Tough matchup against the left-hander Rodon, and first pitch is on the corner for a strike. Three lefties, and then the switch hitting Jurickson Profar in the lineup. Banny, when he puts together these lineups, he doesn't have a lot of flexibility with regard to lefties. You're going to have a couple in there every night. Let's see what the White Sox doing defensively here. 1-2.
Rodon has a good slider. Since he came into the league in 2015, the opponent's batting average against it is 153.
Line shot, but right to third, and Sanchez tucks it away. And that completes a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first inning. We've played one, and we have no score. Now to the second. Matt Davidson, the designated hitter, will lead things off for Chicago. And Colon pumps one right in there for a strike. Davidson pitched last night. Pitched the final inning of the game. And he did a nice job. Got a strikeout. And he watches another strike here to count 0-2.
So in the first inning, after 4 pitches, there's men on second and third and nobody out. 3 pitches later, the Rangers are out of the inning with no runs scoring.
Everywhere we go, right? Every broadcast
probability
crew.
of that had to be less than 1%.
Probably. But would you agree every crew, you know, every opposing team's broadcast crew comes in and asks us something? How is Bartolo doing it? How does he do it? Age 45. Is this one hit hard out to right field and toward the corner? That one bangs high off the fence, right off the wedgie, and caroms out towards center. And Davidson is in with a double. And I guess, Tom, to that end, I find myself asking that question after the scenario you just brought up there in the first. How did he do that?
Well, Elvis did it in one regard, but it's not like a secret, and there's no magic involved. He throws strikes. He's not afraid to give up a home run. He doesn't walk anybody. And even though he was a power pitcher when he was younger, a lot of those wins came when he was throwing 95 and 96 miles an hour. He's learned how to pitch without that. He just throws some at 86, some at 83, every now and then 89 or 90. He's kind of master out there of changing speeds. He's going to give up hits. He's going to get hit. He's only struck out 54 batters in 87 innings. He's going to let you hit it. He just tries to do what pitchers, since the advent of baseball, have tried to do: disrupt the timing of the hitter. That's the name of his game right now.
He tried an appeal at first, thinking maybe Davidson missed the bag there a moment ago. That did not work. And to your point, Tom, you look at the velocity, the average fastball velocity this year for Bartolo Colon. There are only 2 in the game who throw at a lower velocity. But that's not why it works. The reason it works is the movement.
Yeah, I haven't seen the repertoire for a couple of those pitchers, but if you look at Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks doesn't throw hard, but he's got a tremendous changeup. I think one of the things that makes it a little bit unusual for Bartolo to be having a measure of success with that kind of velocity. Is he doesn't have a trick pitch, doesn't have a knuckleball, doesn't have a curve ball, doesn't have a split finger pitch, doesn't have something that tricks a hitter. He's got a slider and a changeup.
And he strikes out Tim Anderson, the one away here in the second inning. Our Kubota power stats for Bartolo Colon. He is one of just 2 active pitchers to have defeated all 30 major league teams at some point in his career. He and Max Scherzer the only to have done it. And that's a little more of a modern era accomplishment, because for years prior to interleague play, it'd be pretty difficult to face all the other teams in the other league. Well, his first pitch in there for a strike to Narvaez.
So he's thrown 14 pitches, 15 pitches, 14 have been strikes. He's thrown 1 ball so far.
He's got 1 out here. Davidson in scoring position. The White Sox are 1 for 23 in the last 3 games with runners in scoring position. So it has been a bit of a struggle for Chicago lately. Narvaez, a left-handed hitting catcher. .250 average, a home run this year, and 10 RBIs.
The key, obviously, for Bartolo, if you're going to give up hits, doesn't strike out many, a little bit prone to giving up the home run, and you want to have any measure of success, then you can't walk anybody. And he doesn't walk many. He's started 14 times. He's only walked 13 batters.
He is about as stingy as it gets in baseball. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball left side, and knocked down by Andrus. That will save a run. Davidson has to stop at third base. It'll be an infield hit for Narvaez. White Sox have him on the corners with 1 away.
Second nice play by Elvis. He didn't get an out this time, but you're right, Dave, he did save a run. If he dives and this ball, not a hard hit ball, and trickles into left field, and pretty good chance that Davidson would score. But Elvis wasn't trying to make a play there. He was trying to make sure the ball didn't go into left field, keep the runner at third base. Now Engel's a pretty fast runner, the next hitter, so a little bit difficult to double him up, but ground ball right at short, right at second. Anybody can be doubled up. That's what Bartolo will be shooting for right here.
Adam Engel fouls off strike 1. Another first pitch swing by these White Sox hitters. 6 of the first 9 White Sox to the plate in tonight's game have offered at the first pitch. So they're up there attacking Bartolo.
I think it's a pretty good strategy against Bartolo, because he's not going to he doesn't throw many balls. He's not going to walk you, so you might as well get your swings in.
That one just missed. 1-1. There's your ratio, 17-3 so far tonight. .244 career victories for Bartolo Colon. That's already most of any Dominican-born pitcher. That's a strike on Engel. Joe West, our plate umpire, called that himself. Said no, he went.
A lot of movement on that pitch. It might have been on the inside corner at one point in time, and then it sunk and tailed in. Was well off the plate. Engel was unable to check his swing on it. He tried it again. Yeah, just a little bit too far. Second time Engel was able to lay off of it.
Middle of the infield at double play depth, but Adam Engel, very speedy runner.
The center fielder for these White Sox. And he hits this ball hard out to left field. Rua on the run, and he won't get to it. So Davidson is in. Narvaez to third base. They will stop him. It's RBI double for Adam Engel, and it gets the White Sox on the board first tonight.
That time Bartolo was trying to get the ball down and away, but it came back over the plate, and that probably is what allowed Engel to get the bat on the ball and pull it for a double. Not a lot of extra base hits for Engel. Only had 12 extra base hits this year until that one.
It's already the third extra base hit tonight for the White Sox, all three of them doubles. Yoán Moncada, and he takes ball one. He had a single in the first inning and then was eventually thrown out at the plate on a spectacular play made by Elvis Andrus and Robinson Chirinos. Two and 0. Well, that initial pitch to Moncada, that was the first time tonight that Colon had missed to a White Sox hitter with the first pitch of an at bat. So working from behind for a rare time here, and he puts it on the corner. 2-1.
Take a look at our StatCast example here on a sacrifice fly. This takes into consideration the arm strength of the outfielder and the speed of the runner at third base, and shows the area where you have a play at the plate. The closer you are to the red line, the better chance you have. If you're behind the green line, then based on the speed of the runner and the arm of the thrower, there won't be much of a chance at the plate. In between, there's a varying percentage of a chance to get him at the plate. You catch it in front of the red line, then the runner at third probably won't try to score.
Two balls and two strikes on Moncada. That one off the thumbs, foul. Well, Moncada in 66 plate appearances like these with runners in scoring position. He struck out in almost half of them, 32 times. He's second in the American League with 115 strikeouts, and this is the final day of June. 2-2.
Didn't quite run back to the inside corner, but that's what he was trying to do.
Moncada yesterday 0 for 4. Has a hit already tonight. Pops this one up. Foul ground, third base side, but that one will end up about 5 rows deep. Good at bat here by Moncada. This will be the 8th pitch. And what has become a rather long inning for Bartolo Colon, and he has so few of these. Well, he's been asked to throw better than 20. Closing in on 25 pitches for the inning. Narvaez at third, Engel at second base, only one out. Payoff on the way. Oh, that one's too tight. Not as pinpoint as he usually is. Now, sometimes the ball just has a little extra movement. But that walk, a rare one. Bartolo Colon, 1.3 walks per 9. Second best in the American League behind Corey Kluber. And so that is one of the few free passes the White Sox can expect to see tonight. And Chirinos very actively engaged in this conversation with Bartolo. Well, there you see it. The White Sox on every base. Narvaez, Engel, and Moncada. Yolmer Sanchez, and he takes outside. Sanchez had a double in the first. He takes outside, so 2-0. So Colon follows the walk of Moncada by missing twice in a row here to Yolmer Sanchez.
He knows he's pitching to contact, that he's not a strikeout pitcher, so he's trying to make a perfect pitch so that they hit it off the handle or the end of the bat. And doesn't have the command that he had in the game against Minnesota. Game against Minnesota, pitched 7 innings, only walked 1 batter, only threw 82 pitches to get through 7 innings. But today it's been a little bit of a laboring process for him, trying to hit the corner of the plate. Been missing.
There's the automatic strike. 3-1. There have been those occasional days, and only recently, where he has scuffled a little bit. In LA not long ago against the Dodgers, and he couldn't make it out of the 4th inning of that ball game. 3-1. And a fly ball out to right field. That one pushes Mazzara back deep enough that Narvaez will tag and head to the plate. A sac fly for Yolmer Sanchez, and the White Sox lead 2-0.
First baseman Jose Abreu.
Let's take a look at the hot zone for Jose Abreu. He's one of those good hitters, power hitters, who likes the ball out over the plate. And it looks like, if you look at this graph, it would tell you to throw the ball in. Doesn't matter whether it's high or low, but pound the ball in, preferably high. 286, not a hot zone, but it's not bad. So belt high or a little bit higher on the inside part of the plate seems to be the spot to pitch him.
Abreu, the one who put the ground ball to shortstop of the 1st inning that resulted in the great play by Andrews. Abreu also a very dangerous hitter. And on the corners here, and he takes outside. 2-0. So again, just very unusual the way in which Colon went 2-0 to Moncada, 2-0 to Yolmer Sanchez, and now 2-0 to Abreu.
At one point, he'd thrown 14 out of 15 pitches for strikes at the beginning of the game. Since then, he's thrown 12 balls and 11 strikes. There's a changeup. Took a little more off of that one. .79 miles an hour. Abreu's looking for something about 85 miles an hour.
Abreu was definitely thinking of picking up more than 1 RBI on that swing too. 2-1 pitch and a bouncer foul. You know, Abreu, talk about the beginning of this guy's career. 25 or more home runs, 100 or more RBIs in each of his first 4 seasons in the big leagues. The only other 2 in the history of Major League Baseball who can claim that. Pujols and Joe DiMaggio.
It's pretty elite company.
Yeah. Pujols did it his first 10 seasons. DiMaggio his first 6. Two-two, and it's fouled away.
Boy, he's lucky that ball didn't go fair. That would have been a pop-up that landed in front of Colon. That ball's about a foot inside and high. Didn't hit his thumb, but it didn't come far from it.
Well, the fans here trying to help Bartolo get to the finish line in this inning. 35th pitch of this second inning. And this one lined down the left field line, but foul. We'll reset and do it again.
Braille's been in a little bit of a cold streak. He's 8 for his last 50. He's about a 160 average. Going through a little bit of a slow spell last couple of weeks, especially for him.
Former superstar in Cuba. He played on the same team as Yasiel Puig and Yohan Moncada. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat. 2-2. Just missed.
Bartolo threw 7 pitches in the first inning. This will be his 37th pitch of this inning. Many games where 37 pitches might get him through 3 innings.
Well, his payoff on the way, and that one is inside ball 4. 2 walks in an inning. Has Doug Brocail and Jeff Bannister contemplating a move they may have to make. And you're starting to talk about 40 pitches in an inning. Whether you're a young prospect or a veteran like Bartolo Colon, that's a lot of pitches. And we saw it last night on the other side.
Yeah. Just one of those games where he's aiming for the corners. He's just missing. Not hitting his spots tonight.
So a new count. Avisail Garcia. And he swings and misses at strike 1. Garcia flied out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
Well, if you can get Garcia here and get out of the inning with all the pitches and all the threats in the first 2 innings, second and third, nobody out in the first inning, to leave only behind 2-0 after 2 innings would be a pretty good result.
Angle at third base got on via a double. Moncada walked. Just a moment ago, Abreu walked. He's at first. Now Garcia, the 8th batter of the inning. Now 2 runs are in. Way inside again. Our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Tony Barnett throwing in the 2nd inning. The 2 walks that Colon issued this inning soaked up a total of 15 pitches in those at bats, or plate appearances, as it were. Still, though, a chance to get out of this inning without too much damage done. His 2-1 pitch, Garcia takes low. The expression from Bartolo Colon is about what you would expect if you've been watching him this season or have seen him in the past. That is a look of Bartolo Colon as he closes in on a perfect game, or as he is enduring the toughest outing of his career. It's the same all the time. 3-1. Ground ball up the middle. Odor to a knee, and he'll throw out Garcia. The inning is done, and really White Sox get 2 runs on Colon in the 2nd, and that's not too bad, all things considered. Adrian Beltre will lead things off for the Rangers when we come back.
Trailing the White Sox as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington. And finally, with most everyone available at his disposal, Jeff Bannister able to approach the lineup in a bit of a different way, especially with the heat in the summertime here in Texas. He's able to take things basically series by series. Look at really what matchups best fit the pitching scenario from the other team. He says it's a nice luxury to have, but does make things a little bit difficult with the juggling process.
Got a lot of people to keep happy. and keeping a groove. Chu today out of the lineup, but it's more for preservation than anything else. A tight quad keeping him out of the lineup today. Adrian Beltre acting as the DH and works himself ahead here, 2-1.
Yeah, on a day when Chu's not playing, it's a great opportunity for someone like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to sit next to him and just talk hitting with him. What's he thinking? You look at all the different situations. What would you do if you were the hitter right here? What would you do against this pitcher? Because Chu really is a professional hitter. Has a great eye at the plate, doesn't swing at bad pitches, uses the whole field, has power, you name it, he does it. And for a young hitter, I think if you sit there and pick his brain, you'll pick up some pretty good pointers.
Two and two on Beltre. Now we assume they're talking baseball. Probably wouldn't matter, really. I bet Chu could pass on a lot of good information on a lot of different topics.
Yeah, I think he's the kind of guy that enjoys the opportunity to spread information with the young players.
It is one of the most fun things to watch, by the way, is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on the road, at home, whatever the case. Watch him sidle up to the veterans. Ooh, that's a close pitch. And strike three called. Beltre was headed to first base. And now he's going to have a word with Joe West. Those two have a kind of amusing history. It was a good pitch.
Yeah, it was a strike based on where the catcher was set up and probably where Adrian was looking for the ball. It didn't look like a good pitch.
I think was it last year, maybe 2 years ago, when I think it was last year when Joe West was suspended for 3 games because of his comments about the biggest complainer in the game. He said, "Oh, it's easy. It's Adrian Beltre."
Yeah, that was a shock to everybody that knew Adrian. It's like, what? That's got to be a joke.
And it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And everybody knows Beltre makes a lot of noise from the bench, and a lot of his noise is also tongue-in-cheek. But Major League Baseball didn't love it, and so they did give West a 3-game suspension. And Joe's told him a couple of times, you can move along now. Head on down the line. Odor takes high, 1-1. Rugi's been one of the great emerging stories lately for the Rangers. The surge in power has been obvious, but he hasn't given up the bunt and small ball abilities. But all the way around, we see the numbers for Odor returning to the old form. Last 10 games looking pretty good.
And in the month of June, he has an on-base percentage over .350.
Comes up empty here, and that's a strikeout, 2 in a row for Rodon.
That's the slider from Rodon that is an excellent pitch. As mentioned, since he came into the league, hitters hit 153 against this slider, especially tough against a left-hand hitter. See it come out of his hand, the way it spins, and the way it breaks away from a left-hand hitter, especially tough.
Rodon was a standout college player. Went to North Carolina State. Set a school record for strikeouts there. Was widely regarded as the best player in college baseball coming into the draft, and was one of the highest draft picks in White Sox franchise history. He was taken 3rd overall. That was in the 2014 draft. And it did not take him long. By 2015, he was in the big leagues, made 23 starts in 2015. And this year, Rodon had to rehab from shoulder surgery, and this is just his 5th start of the season, just recently back off the disabled list earlier in the month.
Take a look at his pitch arsenal. A lot of fastballs, 4-seamers and 2-seamers. 67% of the time. The slider we talked about, he throws that quite a bit. He'll also throw a changeup.
25 years old. And his 1-2 pitch, that's down in the dirt. 2-2.
He's coming off a nice start against the A's. 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, didn't walk anybody. Only threw 99 pitches in 8 innings.
Profar waiting, takes very high. It's full count. Now, early on in this game, 2-0 the White Sox. On the one hand, you say, well, that's a bummer. But on the other hand, they've been threatening for a lot of runs in the first 2 innings. They've left 5 men on base already. And Bartolo Colon, though he's had his back against the wall, has limited the damage. And that one in the dirt, that's ball 4. Or is it strike 3? What the heck is it?
First base umpire said he swung at it.
Oh, there we go on the appeal. It is a strikeout.
Sure didn't look like it.
Frustrating into that at bat.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
close. That's close.
That's a 1-2-3 for Rodon as he strikes out the side. We played 2-0 White Sox. As we go to the 3rd inning, Bartolo Colon back out there after a 42 pitch 2nd inning. We'll see how he's able to recover here. It's right in there for a strike on Garcia. Garcia, Matt Davidson, and then Tim Anderson here in the 3rd inning. That one's too tall. So 1-1 the count. Uri was 0 for 4 yesterday for the White Sox. Bounces this one down to first. Nice backhand pick. And the race to first. Colon wins it. Just beat Garcia for the 3-1 putout. That should get a little smile.
Seen some nice defense today. Elvis has been involved a couple of times, and this is a nice play by Joey Gallo at first base. Take a look at the pickup by Joey Gallo. Tricky hop, backhands it. Does Bartolo beat him to first base? First base umpire Mark Ripperger says he did. See if we can tell. The big guy gets over there pretty good, I'll tell you that. They're not going to challenge it. I think Bartolo went up to Larry Garcia and said, "You may be younger and faster, but you can't beat me to first base."
So the big sexy still has those wheels. 1 away, and here's Matt Davidson, and he takes a strike. Davidson had the double in the 2nd inning.
Was it D. Gordon earlier in the season?
I think it was D. Gordon.
A similar play? Beat D. Gordon. Now, he didn't beat him in a race. He's closer to first base than the batter is. But the point is, he got to first base to get the out before D. Gordon got there, and now before Larry Garcia, who runs pretty well, got there. And you would think a pitcher of his size would have a much harder time getting over there, but for a guy as solidly built as he is, he's got some agility and athleticism to him.
Well, he's a wily one. Been around a little bit, knows a few of the tricks, anticipates things. He's been through the wars. He knows the plays in which you got to have a quicker first step. He knows when you can maybe take it easy. And he's very good at fielding his position. 2-2. We showed the note earlier that he is one of 2 active pitchers to have beaten all 30 major league clubs. He and Max Scherzer. He's the only active pitcher to have won a game with 11 different teams. And he strikes out Davidson. They're 2 away.
How about that strikeout? 91 miles an hour. He reached back, and that's all he has in the tank right there. 91 miles an hour, and he threw it right by him. Won't throw a lot of pitches like that, and when he does, it's going to be with 2 strikes when he goes for the strikeout. But when you're cruising along at 86 or 87, all of a sudden 91 sneaks up on you a little bit, and you could tell by Davidson's swing he was surprised by that pitch.
Two away.
And the 1-strike pitch to Tim Anderson. Chopper left side of the infield. Andrews, whoa, lost it. A bar of soap just slipped out of his hand. And Anderson is on via the error. All right, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Progressive fan of the game time, and it is Austin Bazaar, and it is, you know, it's Rugnetto Door bobblehead night. And guys, let's talk about dedication. Look at Austin's tattoo. For real. It is good enough. How long did it take?
It took 10.5 hours.
How painful was it?
It was very painful. The excitement wore off after a few hours, and it started to hurt really bad.
A few hours, the excitement.
Yeah. But yeah, my buddy Mike Hamill at Third Eye Gallery in Dallas did a phenomenal job.
It looks beautiful.
It looks realistic, yeah.
And it's
I
also
get a lot of compliments on it.
Well, I'm complimenting you in
Thank
the
you.
form of the progressive fan of the game, Austin.
Thank you
And
so
it's his
much.
birthday, guys. It just doesn't get much better than this.
I've never heard of a better night.
Man.
It's my best birthday ever. It's my 25th.
Best birthday ever.
Best birthday ever. And not to mention, I mean, the bobblehead is pretty good, but my favorite book, next to the Bible, it's pretty similar to the Bible. It gives you a lot of life outlines. So.
And he's plugging the book, so I'm gonna stop him right there.
Here we go.
I didn't put him up to that, I promise, guys.
That's great.
Just like the Bible. Emily's written a masterpiece.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Very nice.
Well, what a fan. Gotta get Rugi to put his autograph on that. Tattoo the ink right on there with his autograph.
There you go.
That one is an infield hit for Tim Anderson.
No error.
He can fly, and Elvis had to charge it and get rid of it as quickly as he could. So I guess the degree of difficulty on that play factored into the official scorekeeper's decision. I think it's a good one. I'd give him a hit.
Slow roller this time to the right side, and Odor's right there, and he throws out Narvaez easily to win the inning. So Cologne comes back with a goose egg in the third after 2.5. The White Sox lead. Rangers looking for their first base runner tonight. That'll be Robinson, Chirinos, Joey Gallo, and Ryan Rua in this third inning. Now, we got started about an hour later than usual tonight. 8:05 scheduled first pitch. And that's just part of the way things go down on Saturdays this time of year. Thanks to the national TV broadcast rights. We're actually lucky in the central time zone. I think the national window stays until 9 p.m. but we get a kind enough to give us a waiver to start at 8. It's either that or 3 o'clock in like 102-degree heat. Inside 1-1 on Chirinos. Well, Robinson, we talked about him at the top of the broadcast today. Extra base hits now in 5 straight games. He has homered in 3 of the last 4 games. One. That one hooked on the ground to third base. Homer Sanchez has time and throws out Chirinos, 1 away.
Rodon got to the big leagues quickly, and I think that was pretty much expected when you come into professional baseball as highly touted as he was as a college pitcher. The team that drafts you expects you to move quickly through the minor leagues. Maybe not as quickly as he did, though. He only had 55 innings in the minor leagues. Drafted in 2014, and he was in the big leagues the next year.
Comes inside to Gallo with ball 1. Joey hitting 192. He had one of the 5 home runs last night by the Rangers, giving him now 19 this season.
White Sox have a little bit of a track record drafting left-handed pitchers in the first round, getting to the big leagues quickly. They also had Chris Sale. Chris Sale got to the big leagues immediately in the relief role and gradually worked himself into the starting role. I think he pitched tonight for the Red Sox. Red Sox got bombed by the Yankees last night. They're bombing him tonight.
This ball hit well out to center. It's gone. A with a blast to center field. And that got out of here with a flash. 20th of the year for Joey. And the Rangers are on the board.
Joey blasted one out in that same area last night. This one, though, came against a left-hand pitcher. Has not had a long major league career, but in his brief major league career has been very stingy giving up the long ball to left-handed hitters. But Joey got a fastball right down the middle, and he took advantage of the location and did the rest of the work. 112 miles an hour off the bat, 436 feet.
So 2-1 the score. Gallo with home runs in back-to-back games now. That was after a 10-game homerless drought. This one up the middle, but right there for Moncada. And he'll throw out Rua for the second out of the inning. Well, most home runs with an exit velocity of 110 miles per hour or more. Gallo with 11 of them. That is 2 more than Giancarlo Stanton. Maz not far behind with 8 of them. There is some thunder in this Rangers lineup, and we have seen it with some regularity here in the month of June. It's kind of funny. The Rangers have had 1 base runner tonight and have scored a run. White Sox have had like 20 base runners. 1, 2. They've had like 9 base runners and scored 2 runs. Now Delano's had good success against left-handed pitching. And spoils this one foul. Evens the count at 1-1. Delano's .328 average against lefties is 8th best in the American League, and you can see the difference versus lefties and righties for DeShields. This is where he feels most comfortable. Count 1-2. That said, lately Delano has felt comfortable, or so it appears, in just about every situation. Yesterday 2 for 3 with a walk. Scored a couple of runs. Delano grounded out in the first inning. Rodon has only allowed the 1 hit so far, the blast by Gallo. Two. This one hit well to center field. Angle was shallow, but able to get back to it. And he puts it away. So the inning is done, but the Rangers get on the board. Joey Gallo doing what Joey Gallo does. A massive blast, 436 feet. And he cuts the lead in half. Two to 1, White Sox on top. Captain having some fun out on the concourse tonight. Adam Engel will lead things off for the White Sox, and his first pitch swinging. It's this one out to left field. Rua angling back, and there's one away. I'll be one of the first fans to the ballpark. Pick up this Rangers Raglan tee, compliments of Hill Tea, when the White Sox and Rangers wrap things up tomorrow in a 2:05 game. First 15,000 adults pick up an adult-sized tee. And the first 2,500 kids will pick up a youth large-sized tee. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Here is Yohan Moncada. He's been on twice. And he's swinging at the first pitch. Shields right there. 2 up, 2 down. Which gives us another moment. How about a word from our friends at Kia?
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Yolmer Sanchez has doubled and driven in a run on a sac fly. Now, he can't swing at this pitch, right? 2 pitches, 2 outs.
He was taken all the way. You look at the second inning, Bartolo threw 35 or 40 pitches in that inning. The other 3 innings, thrown about 10 or 12 pitches in an inning. Nice comeback too. He was definitely on the ropes in the second inning. He walked a couple of guys, didn't have his command, but got out of that inning having only given up a couple of runs.
It was 0-2. Just missed. He's trying to get the White Sox right back out on the field and get his guys back to the plate. The 2, 3, and 4 due up in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-2 pitch.
There's one of those fastballs where he reaches back for 91. That time Sanchez, I think he was fooled by the speed of that pitch, but he got a piece of it. Just barely. Davidson struck out in the 3rd inning on the same pitch. Wasn't able to get a piece of it. That ball was by Sanchez.
Taps this one third base. Fielded cleanly by Profar, and is so to first in time. A 7-pitch 4th inning for the Big Sexy. So another good bounce back for him. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Andrus, Mazzara, Beltre coming up for the Rangers. Start with Keon Broxton. How about the snow cone catch to rob Jose Peraza? Yeah,
even he can't believe his catch.
George Springer, yeah, he does this almost as a routine, but the coup de grace today. Vince Velasquez, a pitcher, hit on the right arm, throws the glove away, use the left. Are you kidding me?
That came out of the
dexterous, but boy,
that came out of the game.
Yeah, that though.
That's one the play Elvis made earlier in the game. You don't see very often, and that one I've never seen before. Just happened to the line drive hit an ambidextrous pitcher. There's no way he could have thrown that ball right-handed. He wasn't able to stay in the game. I hope he's okay.
Andrews trying to bunt. Now this is the play you were talking about earlier by Elvis.
Yeah, we could easily add this play to that mix. Playing back, giving up the run, go in the hole from the outfield grass and throw out a good runner at the plate. Plays you don't see every day.
Rodon's 0-2. Very high, 96 miles per hour there. Well, when I saw that Velasquez highlight the first time, we see him get hit, and you have that initial concern for a guy. Andrus wafts this one to shallow center. Engel right there, one away. But then you see him scrambling after the baseball, but he throws the glove away. And you can see that it's quite intentional when he does it. And I thought, what in the world? Trying to lighten the load? What's going on there? But then when he throws it left-handed, that's when you realize, oh boy, that's a pretty special play. He must have been waiting for like years to turn that one in.
Yeah, I don't know that he was waiting to do it on that kind of a play, boy. Rangers had a pitcher way back when, Greg Harris. He was a right-handed relief pitcher. He was our closer for a while. He could have made that play because he had a glove that you could wear on either hand. And he actually warmed up in the bullpen a number of times left-handed. Looked like a big league pitcher left-handed. Didn't throw quite as hard. His breaking ball wasn't quite as sharp. Wasn't a hard thrower to begin with, but he had a really good curveball. Always wanted to pitch with both hands. I don't know that he ever did pitch left-handed in a game. But given the opportunity to make that kind of a play, he could also have made that play.
Well, Mazzara adds another hit as he continues to be locked in. That's a 4-game hitting streak for him.
Yeah, both hits today are by left-handed hitters. Rodon much tougher against lefties than righties.
There's these two together again.
You know, Adrian's going out of his way to try and win the good favor of Joe West after that little thing you talked about where Joe West said he was a complainer. But, you know, I think if Adrian went back and watched the replay of that pitch, it was a lot closer to being a strike than he thought it was.
I wonder, in fact, if that's what he was just telling Joe
Might
West.
have.
Yeah, all right, I went back and looked. You're right. Well, Adrian's always having fun. And I think deep down, Joe really enjoys him. Country Joe West, he's been at it for a long time. Foul out of play by Beltre. 1-1 the count. So Adrian struck out looking in the second. Rangers have had just 2 hits tonight. Gallo with the homer in the third. Mazzara with the base hit here. It's 1-2. Beltre 3,105 hits in his career, 21st on the all-time list. And closing in quickly on Dave Winfield. There's a swing on a high fly ball left field. Garcia coming in. 2 away. Well, enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers. There's exclusive content, a whole lot more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Hope they're not sitting where you can get a line drive.
You
can bring your glove with you and not have a chance to catch it when you're watching your phone. When you least expect it, that line drive's coming your way.
Two away for Rugi now. Odor struck out in the second. And Rodon gets him to foul off strike 1. Mentioned earlier, there are 3 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight for the Rangers: Mazzara, Odor, and Gallo. And you just pointed out the 2 hits so far, Mazzara and Gallo. So that leaves Odor, the other lefty, to get in the mix right here. High pop-up, foul ground, first base side, but I think that one will end up in the seats. You were referencing this earlier, Tom, but Odor, not just in the very recent, but you look at overall for the month of June, the great improvement we've seen from him over May.
Yeah, it's been steady, and he really hasn't gotten hot like he's capable of getting hot. But from where he was to claw back and regain respectability, that's been a very nice accomplishment. And if he keeps going in the right direction, it's just going to get better and better.
One and two.
And this is a tough situation for a left-hand hitter to be in against Rodon with a no ball 2-strike count. He's got that slider, which is a strikeout pitch for him. Maybe he'll hang one.
Off the plate, 2-2. Now Rodon in his career has limited left-handed hitters to a .227 average and had only allowed 5 home runs to left-handed hitters, since breaking into the big leagues in 2015. He's given up 1 to Joey Gallo tonight. So Gallo joins Charlie Blackmon, Jackie Bradley Jr., Robinson Cano, David Ortiz, and Corey Seager is the only lefties to go deep off Rodon. Power numbers way down for Odor this year. But we've seen a recent uptick. 2-2 pitch inside. Good crowd tonight, Saturday evening. A really nice crowd with us for this middle game of the series against the White Sox.
Mazzara at first, he'll be running. The 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4.
Really nice walk down, no balls and 2 strikes to earn that against the lefty. Good job.
Good time to take a look at our WinStar leaderboard. One thing the Rangers have done very well so far this year and for the entirety of the season is draw walks. That's the 301st of the year by the Rangers. 2 more than the next closest team in the American League, the Yankees. Astros not far behind at 298. Astros will be the next team in town. Profile turned away from the plate. But you look at where this team is trended. In the start of the year, not very patient. 3.2 walks per game, striking out almost 9.5 times per game. Well, steady progression in the walks. Now 4.3 walks per game, and the strikeouts down to a monthly low, 8.8 per game. And Anthony Iapoce looking on from the dugout, and he has done a really good job.
Yeah, that's progress that you should be really proud of as a team, because I think it's difficult to see that kind of a dramatic improvement. Go from a team that doesn't walk that much to a team that's leading the league in walks and cutting down your strikeouts while you're doing it. That's impressive progress by the offense.
Iapoce and Justin Mayshore, the hitting coaches. Jeff Bannister happy with that. And I would add, Tom, you can tell me, but I mean, when you get off to a bad start like they did, you know, the tendency you would think would be to press a little more, get a little more aggressive, a little more jumpy.
Yeah.
They've really done a good job resisting that 2-0 pitch. That one's wildly in, and it's 3-0 now on Profar.
Well, if he walks Jurickson, he gets Robinson Chirinos, and Robinson Chirinos has been as hot as any Ranger. So that would be a good development as well.
Well, that's ball 4, not even close. And they are loaded. So back-to-back walks. And Don Cooper heads out there, and this guy's ready. Bases loaded, Tom. I think
we were watching them before the game. A little boy with a green glove didn't want the glove, and he traded with his dad because he wanted the dad's big glove. And they were both having a chuckle about that. But looks like the dad has the big glove back. He couldn't get the little glove on his hand. That little guy came with his glove, with his Ranger t-shirt, got his helmet on, learning about baseball from his dad. That's what it's all about right there. Granddad was there a little bit earlier.
Boy, he's taking it all in, that little guy.
Little girl's pointing up to the scoreboard at Ranger Captain. Look, Dad.
Well, now, let's really give him something to cheer about here. Robinson Chirinos with the bases loaded. Mazzara, Odor, and Profar third to first. And Rodon has had to labor a little bit in this 4th inning. Inside corner to Chirinos. Ooh.
And after 2 straight walks, Rodon deserved to get that one. Might have needed it. Didn't deserve it, though.
This one the other way, down the right field line, could be trouble. Drops in, that's a base hit. Mazzara's in, Odor scores. Profar all the way from first. And Chirinos clears the bases with a double. The Rangers have their first lead of the night.
Talking about Robinson. Emily was talking about Robinson, the mechanical changes he's made. Came into the game with 9 RBIs in his last 5 games. Now he's got 12 RBIs in his last 6 games. Rodon tried to sneak the fastball by him, and he shoots it right down the line, slices it into the corner. Profar at first base got a great jump. He's sprinting around third base, sees the play at the plate, scores easily. And a rapid turn of events here in the 4th inning for the Rangers. A couple of walks played a huge part in it. Good at bat for Odor, was behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes when he worked his walk. Profar's a patient hitter. Then Robinson staying hot.
Yeah, 6th straight game with an extra base hit. Now Gallo turns over on one to Moncada, and he is thrown out to win the inning. But the Rangers scored 3 on the bases clearing double by Chirinos. And just like that, we go to the 5th inning. Rangers up 4-2.
Bases clearing double as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington. And we've talked about guys getting healthy from the offensive end. When you look at Martin Perez, he is close to coming back and had a great outing tonight in Frisco on rehab assignment. 6 innings, giving up just 2 hits, left with a 5-0 lead. Struck out 4. 73 pitches, 48 of which were strikes. So things definitely trending in the right direction for Martin Perez to be back in Arlington sooner rather than later, guys.
Very good news for Martin and for the Rangers.
In those 2 rehab starts, he threw right around 130 pitches, and 100 of them, right around 100 of them were strikes. Not exact numbers, but ballpark numbers. So no matter where you're pitching, A ball, double A, those numbers would indicate that Martin has been pretty sharp in those 2 appearances.
Well, 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Abreu here in the 5th inning. Bartolo Colon now at 70 pitches for the night. That in and of itself a bit of an accomplishment. Bouncer third. Boy, flagged nicely by Profar. He's going to have to hustle it in time. They just get Abreu at first.
Boy, there's Jurickson showing some arm strength on that play. He knew he didn't have much time, and he had to get rid of it and throw it as hard as he could. He plays back on a hop, has to turn all the way around, get a handle on it, and then threw a bullet over to first base. It helps to have a 6'5" first baseman too. Nice first out in the 5th inning.
Garcia, first pitch swinging. Can of corn for DeShields. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines player breakdown. Bartolo Colon early in the game really helped in the 1st inning by this beautiful play by Elvis from the outfield grass. Gets Moncada at the plate. Then in the 2nd inning, bases loaded, he's thrown 36 or 37 pitches. He gets the out. A little bit later, helps his own cause by making a play at first base. The big guy with a smile on his face got over there and got the job done. And really, Dave, if you look at the 1st inning, 7 pitches into the game, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. 4 pitches into the game, 3 more pitches, and he's out of that inning without a run scoring. And then if you look at the 2nd inning, they've got a couple of runs in. It looks like he's on the ropes, throwing 36, 37, 38 pitches in the 2nd inning. It's 97 degrees out, and you know he needs 1 more win to tie Dennis Martinez for the all-time wins for a Latin-born pitcher. And you're thinking, well, it's not looking too good tonight. There's no way he's going to get through 5 innings. And here he is, 1 pitch away from getting through 5 innings. And on the game, he's only thrown 74 pitches. Pretty amazing that we would be right here with a 4-2 lead. Bartolo with a chance for a win, the way it looked in the 2nd inning anyway.
0-2 pitch, and that one by the mound to second base, and Odor's right there, and they take care of Garcia, and it's a 1-2-3 5th inning. 8 pitches needed for the big sexy. Halfway to the house, Rangers leading it 4-2.
Donate $1 to support veterans.
Ryan Rua to start things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 9th place hitter will be Rua, then DeShields and Elvis Andrus. 4-2 Rangers lead. And a high fly ball out to right field. That one carrying pretty well. It is gone. Rua's homered again. He hasn't had a lot of opportunity, but lately he's had some big swings. His 2nd home run of the homestand.
Now, this is one of those balls. We've seen several balls in this homestand hit just like this. Fly balls to right center field that are hit a little bit better than it looks coming off the bat. And just keep on going. That one went all the way to the back of the Ranger bullpen. The Rangers used the long ball again.
That's
Joey
7
Gallo.
home runs in the series.
Yeah, Joey Gallo with 1 to start the scoring, and Ryan Rua.
DeShields 0 for 2.
Nice night for the bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9.
And all 5 RBIs out of those 3 slots. High pop up out into short right field. Garcia comes in and squeezes that one. All right, 1 away, and now time for Chevy game break. Let's check in again with Dana Larson.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
Wow.
I believe Chris Sale started that game. You know he was on a mission after they got bombed last night.
It would pop up into right field. This time, it appears second baseman Moncada will handle this one. He wins the argument and puts away out number 2. Well, you can get a jump on your Independence Day celebrations this year. Coming out to the ballpark on Tuesday. Opening game of that series against the Astros. We're going to have a great post-game fireworks show afterward, presented by T-Mobile. It's a 7:05 game, and the first of just 2 remaining games against the Astros here at home. Go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS to get your tickets.
That was Chris Sale. 7 innings, 1 hit. No runs, 11 strikeouts.
Zara hits one on the ground right to second base. And he's retired quickly. It's an 8-pitch inning for Rodon, but he gives up the home run to Rua, and the Rangers lead it 5-2. Continues on Fox. Isco in Spain face off with Russia. That's at 8 a.m. And then Luka Modric and Croatia battle Denmark. Catch all the action on Fox or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Some great action earlier today in the World Cup as Matt Davidson will lead things off here. Fouls that one off his foot. Oh, France beat Argentina 4-3. That was kind of a wild one. And then Uruguay over Portugal 2-1 the final there. So those 2 advance to the quarterfinals.
No more Ronaldo or Messi.
How about that?
One day they're both gone.
So we were talking the other day about the great commentary and announcers in the World Cup and how fun it is to listen to them. And I noticed another thing today about them. When they do like their studio type shows and stuff, guys really get into the commentary, and they are brutally hard on these teams.
Are they?
I mean, they are fierce. Fly ball deep right center. DeShields is back, and that one is gone. A home run for Davidson. His 14th of the year. Came on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, that's one of those balls that we've seen hit several times by the Rangers. That time the White Sox hit one. High fly balls to right center field that just get up and go. Davidson has some power. That's his 14th home run of the season. Trying to throw it down and away. Got a little bit too much of the plate. That's a slider that's spinning but not breaking. If it had its normal break and broke down and away, probably would have had him.
Jeff Bannister makes that walk out there, takes the baseball from Bartolo Colon. Well, Jesse Chavez has been loosening up out there. He's got the glasses going, and he'll be coming on. Bartolo Colon will get a nice round of applause here. He leaves with a 5-3 lead. And the Texas Rangers are teaming up to save lives this summer. On Monday, July 2nd, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. here at Globe Life Park. Come and give blood. You get a tour, t-shirts, 2 Rangers tickets. Sign up today. Go to carterbloodcare.org. Carter Blood Care. Giving starts here. All right, Jesse Chavez making his 25th appearance.
Yeah, Jesse's getting better and better. He's been very impressive. 25th game winning record, nice ERA. Good strikeout to walk ratio. A little bit homer prone, but a lot of that came early. He's been throwing really well.
Gets a ground ball to third. Profar makes a nice looking play to get Tim Anderson one away.
Got the whole hold against the Padres. 17 pitches, struck out the side. Throwing 92, 94 miles an hour in that game with a little bit of cutting action on his fastball. A lot of swings and misses in that game. And so when you look at Bartolo Colon's line, it'll look fairly average. 5 innings, 3 runs. But when you look at where he was when the game started, first inning and second inning, how many pitches he threw, the jams he got out of, 5 hits, couple of walks, limited the damage to 2 runs, and then pitched 3 more innings to give himself a chance to win a ball game. You have to look at it. The overall body of work was pretty impressive when you figure out where he started from. He got some help defensively. Elvis made a nice play, helped him in the first inning, helped his own cause covering first base, making a nice play. Now if the bullpen comes in and does what they have been doing, we'll have a chance to tie Dennis Martinez for the all-time wins by a Latin pitcher.
0-2 pitch, and Narvaez strikes out swinging, 2 away.
Boy, he has had an effective fastball. 4-mile-an-hour fastball. No contest. See you later. See Robinson with a high target, and Jesse pretty much threw the ball exactly where his glove was.
With 2 outs and the base is empty. Adam Engel, and he's first pitch swinging, lines that one up the middle for a base hit, his 2nd hit of the night.
Yeah, Engel hasn't had a lot of multi-hit games. Well, good game for him. Had an RBI double and well hit ball up the middle.
Turns the lineup over now for Moncada. 1 for 2 with a walk. Chavez with his home glasses on tonight. Those are prescription glasses he wears. A little bluff down at first, throw back behind him, and Engel not challenged that much, back in there safely.
White Sox steal a lot of bases, and Engel has stolen some himself, 10 out of 12 to be exact. His only problem has been getting on base. Base percentage is only 27%. Doesn't walk very much, hitting .211.
Like Robbie on the follow through or something. Tweaked his hand or something, his wrist. Chavez will have to keep an eye on Engel. That is not a sign that I don't think that's a sign anyway.
Shaking your hand means throw over to first. Let's take a look here on the throw, the follow through.
I think he hit the bat.
Yeah. Runner bluffs. This one fouled away, and it's 0-2 on Moncada. We're talking about Engel. He is one of the quicker runners in baseball, right there with Delano DeShields. Those are the only 5 individuals in baseball who move at 30 feet per second or quicker. High pop up, left side of the infield. Profar is there. So the inning is done. White Sox get a run back on the Davidson homer, but Chavez puts out any additional fire. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer. They love Rugi and Smokey the Horse. Big night tonight. The bobblehead giveaway. Rangers leading 5-3 here, bottom of the 6th inning. Beltre leading it off. Then it will be Odor. And Beltre smashes one through the left side of the infield. 3,106 hits for Adrian Beltre, and he's on to start the inning.
Adrian has been swinging well against left-handed pitching and hitting a lot of balls to right field. This one, he got out in front of him, pulled. Rodon got the ball in on him in the last at bat. Adrian made sure he got the head of the bat out on that one, hit it sharply.
Emily has a little more on Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, he talked about, just wanting to be in the lineup. He realizes that he can't play every day in the field. He says, though, he does want to be in the lineup because he feels like if he stays out of the lineup or takes too many days off, it jacks up his swing, he said, just being honest. And so he wants to just play regardless of whether it's in the DH spot or, in the field. He wants to remain in that lineup as much as possible.
Door with a big swing and a miss, 1-1. I suppose that makes sense. Guys like that routine, the rhythm.
Yeah.
Odor has walked and scored a run.
Obviously a much different look to the Ranger lineup on the field, in the lineup with Elvis in the lineup and Beltre healthy and in the lineup. Having both of those guys makes a huge difference. 2 veterans. We've been talking today, Dave, about things you don't see very often.
Yeah.
Elvis's play, for one thing. How about this one? Oliver Perez became the first pitcher in Major League history to record a no-pitch, 1-walk outing.
No pitch, 1
No
walk.
pitch,
Intentional walk?
1 walk.
He came on to intentionally walk somebody?
Terry Francona brought him in, he's a left-hand pitcher, to face a left-hand hitter. Bob Melvin countered with a right-hand hitter, Mark Canha. Terry Francona didn't like the matchup, so he ordered him walked on purpose and then took him out of the game.
All right, there it is.
Through no pitches, walked a guy, and that was his outing. Never happened before. So that one you can say you've never seen it before, and you really haven't, because it's never happened before.
There's no debating that.
There's been plenty of shortstops that have thrown guys out at the plate from the grass. That's happened before. You don't see it very often, and sometimes we exaggerate that kind of a thing. It's rare, but it's not like it's never happened before. Elvis did it beautifully, but it has happened before. Vince Velasquez today got smoked by that line drive in his throwing hand, dropped his glove, picked it up, and threw him out with the other hand.
Gore rips that one foul.
Now that may never have happened before.
May not, but I've got to believe it has.
It might have happened where the guy picked the ball up running toward first and flipped it with his other hand. I don't know that he's ever gone toward third base and fired it with the opposite hand.
Right.
Maybe it has.
There's a history of some ambidextrous guys. Pablo Sandoval throws both right-handed and left-handed, or can. Was Pat Venditti the?
Yeah,
was the.
He could have done. He definitely could have done it.
High pop up, first base side.
Kata, eventually the man who ends up with the duties there, one away. Remember Greg Harris? Remember that name, Greg Harris? He pitched for the Expos.
Well, there's Greg Harris that I talked about the pitch for us. Might have also pitched with the Expos, but he's the one that had the glove that you could wear on both hands.
So he had the Vendetti glove.
Yeah.
Because Pat had one of those, right?
He had it way before Vendetti did. Although Vendetti actually pitched with both hands in a game. I don't believe that Greg ever did. Now, there's more than one Greg Harris. So I'm not sure if you're talking about the same one. Our Greg Harris might have pitched for Montreal. I know he pitched for San Diego. Not sure the other teams he pitched for. But they had to, they had to get a ruling then in case he pitched in a game. Bobby Brown, Dr. Bobby Brown was the American League president. Whether or not he could, when he could switch to throw right-handed or left-handed, who had the right to determine whether the guy batted right-handed or left-handed, which hand he threw with. So they actually came up with a ruling on that. I can't remember, but I think the ruling was the batter takes his place in the batter's box, and then the pitcher can determine which hand he throws with. Otherwise, you just keep going back and forth. The batter goes up right-handed, the pitcher switches to left-handed, the batter goes back to the other side, the pitcher switches his glove onto the other hand, and it never ends. So they actually had a ruling on that.
So it was the same Greg Harris, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah. Although there was another Greg Harris who overlapped, another pitcher who overlapped at the same time. But no, it was the same one. Yeah. So I saw Pat Vendetti in the minor leagues. I remember seeing a video clip of him and a switch hitter having that exact scenario you were talking about. Hitter goes one side, he switches hands. So he switches to the other side and he'd switch his glove. And it went back and forth till finally the umpire, whatever, mandated something. But I didn't realize that they had already had on the books
way back when
on that.
Bobby Brown ruled on that. So long ago, I honestly can't remember exactly what the ruling was. I remember it that he made the decision. The hitter walked into the batter's box, and then the pitcher could decide which hand he threw with.
One out
easy
here
to find that out. I know there's a bunch of people watching that are just dying to know the truth on that.
Way inside, and it's a full count now on Profar. You just go straight to Bobby on that. Who are you gonna text on that?
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna Google it and see if I can find it.
That's gonna be a challenge. That's gonna be buried.
Challenge for a lot of people, not people as tech savvy as I am, though. In fact, I'm not even going to type it in. I'm just going to talk it in and let the girl find it for me.
Bloop out to center field. That one drops in front of Engel, and Profar is aboard. So Beltre stops at second. Profar with his first hit of the night. They're just trying to build something in the sixth inning. And Rick Renteria up out of the dugout, and it looks like he may be headed out there with the intent of bringing in somebody new. Yeah, his pace says it all. So Juan Minaya, who'd been loosening up out there, appears that he will come in for Rodon here in the sixth inning. 2 men on, and the Rangers up by 2. Still batting, and hey, fans, your vote is needed if you want to get Adrian Beltre or Shin-Soo Choo, Nomar Mazara to the All-Star game. You got to get on a vote, and quickly. Go to TexasRangers.com/vote. Cast your ballot for whomever you want to see in the Midsummer's Classic. Fans who vote 25 times or more will also receive a 25% discount on Beltre, Choo, and Mazara merchandise through July 5th. Now, voting does end on Thursday, so log on and get those votes in. Now, just a little bit earlier in that Profar bat, checked his swing. Now watch Adrian Beltre first. No, he didn't go.
In case you need any help.
He's at second. Profar at first. Chirinos laced a bases clearing double in the 4th inning. He's driven in 3 runs. Looks this one by third, but foul.
So I found the answer to my question.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite of what I said. Now, Bobby Brown came up with a ruling way back then, back in the 80s. But what I just read says it's a new ruling, so maybe they've amended the ruling. Instead of the hitter having to declare, it's the pitcher has to declare. The pitcher stands out there as a right-handed pitcher, for instance, and then the batter comes up as a left-hand hitter, and it remains that way. So the pitcher has to declare. The ambidextrous pitcher, who can have a glove on either hand, has to put the glove on a hand, declare which hand he's going to throw with before the hitter comes into the batter's box. So that's the way you rule it.
That's why I think somebody like Al Hrabosky, the mad Hungarian who used to get to the back of the mound, turn his back to home plate. Oh, he could make a quick switcheroo, turn around, storm up there, and before anybody catches it.
I think the hitter has to know that you've declared one hand or the other, and you can't switch in the middle of an at bat.
Guess that seems fair.
You're a right-hand pitcher, and the hitter comes up, bats left-handed. That's the way it remains for that at bat, unless there's some kind of an injury, maybe.
1-2 on Chirinos. Two-man aboard here, one out in the sixth. And there's a swing and a miss, so Chirinos strikes out, 2 away.
First baseman, Joey.
A lot of movement on that pitch. Bottom dropped out of that thing.
Juan Minaya, we saw him yesterday. Minaya pitched an inning in a third in last night's game. Back in there again today. And he'll deal with Joey Gallo. Gallo, the 8th place hitter. You look at what the Rangers 7, 8, and 9 has done tonight. 3 for 7 with a couple of homers, a double, and all 5 RBIs. Gallo had one of the home runs. That was in the third. Waiting on deck. He had the other. 1-1 the count. This White Sox bullpen has been pushed a little bit lately. Had the 13-inning game on Thursday. Yesterday, it was touch and go with Dylan Covey. How he got through 2 1/3 almost seems remarkable. So that put additional pressure on the bullpen. Gallo hits this one on the ground to the right side. Moncada right there. And the inning is done. Rangers have a couple of hits, but they leave 2. 6 innings in the books. Rangers lead it 5-3. With the 2-run lead. And Rangers fans, Adrian and Sandra Beltre invite you to Uncork for a Cause. It's July 22nd at the Meridian in Dallas. The stone laid to support the Texas Rangers Foundation. It's the debut of Adrian's 3,000 hit 2015 Sonoma Blend wine, and a limited amount of tickets are still available, so you can join Adrian and some of his teammates for this special night. Check it out, uncorkforacause.com to get your tickets. There's a line drive out to left field, base hit for Sanchez to start the 7th inning. Again, that's uncorkforacause.com.
First baseman Jose Abreu.
All right, Chavez has been working, but Jake Diekman has been preparing in the pen, so he may not be too far off. Chavez through a scoreless 6th inning. And relief for Bartolo Colon. Bartolo went 5 innings, 5+ technically, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits, walked 2. Struck out 2. Pardon me, struck out. I don't know why I have him for 2. Anyway, Jose Abreu takes the ball.
Chavez checks a runner and deals. That's a beauty. 1-1 the count. Now, Abreu, dangerous guy. Grounded out his last time up in the 5th inning. He's also walked. Reached on a fielder's choice. Catches another corner. Talked earlier about Abreu's power and his run production in his first 4 years in the big leagues. Nearly unprecedented. And he has some very good company with some of the numbers he's put up. He makes good contact when he's up there, and he thought that was strike 3. I think he was heading away from the plate. But 2-2 the count. The way he reacted, almost like
let's see.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm gone. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know. That's what I thought too. If he actually thought that, he pulled it off pretty well.
Two. And a ground ball second base could be
He wishes it was strike 3.
That is a double play. 4-6-3. Chavez loves it.
Sharply hit ball by Abreu. Sinker. Right at Rugi, fortunately. So instead of a strikeout or a potential strikeout, turns into a nice easy double play. Turned by Rugi and Elvis. 2 quick outs for Jesse Chavez. He's pumped.
Man, rushes that one at 95 miles per hour past Garcia. Loved it last night. Emily, when she was talking to Rugi about the adjustments he's made, the work he's done, talking a little bit about defense. And he is really focused right now, defensively, offensively. He's been a whole lot better in both phases of the game. Been a great month for him. Garcia takes a fastball in. 2-1. Trying to go in again. This one fouled away. Evens count at 2-2. Garcia twice has flied out to center. He's also grounded out to second base. Chavez trying to make it 2 scoreless innings. There's a fly ball, that one out to left center field, and that's one's really well struck, and it's gone. 4th home run of the year for Garcia. Makes it a 1-run game.
The Rangers took the lead. The White Sox are trying to get right back in it by way of the home run themselves. Rangers used the home run to get ahead, and now a home run by Davidson. Another one by Garcia. 1-run ball game. Nice swing, solid contact. Hit the ball right on the barrel of the bat. 410 feet.
Next pitch, lofted out to center field, and DeShields is there to haul it in. It's a 1-run game all of a sudden, 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Folks, here will stand for God Bless America. We turn it over to Chuck Morgan.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise and direct your attention to the area behind home plate, and welcome back Mary Helen Janaveras. In honor of all the veterans who have served our country and the servicemen and women who are currently stationed at home and around the world, Mary Helen will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Seventh inning. Young ladies having fun out of the ballpark tonight. Great to spend an evening with Dad as Ryan Rua will lead things off here. And he takes a good fastball from Juan Minaya for strike one. Rua homered his last time up, and it was a no-doubter into the back of the Rangers bullpen. 0-2 the count. Yeah, this is the fifth inning.
Let's take another look at it. High fly ball. One of several in this homestand we've seen hit the same way. Davidson hit one for the White Sox. A little bit more to the left of that ball, but high fly balls that were hit very well and really carried.
Ooh, strike three called. Rua thought that was a little wide of the plate, but a strikeout starts the seventh inning.
Well, Juan Minaya is coming in, airing it out in this game.
Uh-oh. Rip Bannister wanted out to have a word with Joe West. Well, I think West may have thumbed him from the bench. I didn't see it, but the fans reacted. Yeah, looks like Joe West doing a little paperwork now, so let's take another look. Here's the strike three call.
Ryan didn't like the call, but it didn't look like he said anything.
Oh, he threw. Yeah, he threw.
I guess he did. Well, it's one of those borderline pitches. Hitter doesn't like the call. Pitcher says, "I've got to have that one." Could have gone either way. That time went the way of Juan Minaya. Minaya's come in, 2 men on, only 1 out. Got out of the last inning and now strike out to start this inning. Faced 3 batters and struck out a couple of them.
It was interesting. I mean, not really much of a reaction there from Rua.
That might have been the magic word, or words, or phrase.
Ground ball up the middle and just under the glove of Anderson. DeShields is on. That might have gotten a piece of his glove, but that'll be a base hit for Delino, his first hit of the night.
I think he touched that ball and he was thinking, I've got to catch this and throw it almost at the same time if I want to get Delino. He was going to try to catch that, spin around and throw it, but never quite got to it.
So Delino on. He has very good speed. And now Elvis 0 for 3. Throws that one away. And DeShields will head to second base. That one ended up out of play. E1.
You know, Delino's thinking about getting a jump and going. And certainly Minaya knew that. Couldn't tell whether that was a bad throw or whether Abreu fanned on it. Could you? Was that a wild throw?
I think my knee jerk was that the throw was not good.
Okay. Scorekeeper agrees with you. E1.
63rd error of the year by the White Sox. That is most in the American League. Part of the growing pains of a young rebuild. There's only one team in Major League Baseball with more errors than the White Sox. That would be the St. Louis Cardinals. They have 67.
Well, Andrews with a pop out, a fly out, a ground out today. Rangers are 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Runner goes, and the throw down to third base. That one goes into left field. The Shields will hop up. He's headed to the plate, but it was a late start. Garcia's throw, not in time. Delano to Shields works his way around the bases. 2 errors, a stolen base, and he scores a run.
Well, that's the pressure that speed puts on the defense. Catcher has no time. Probably should have just held on to the ball. Tries to throw from his knees. Narvaez's throw short hops the third baseman Sanchez. Delano didn't know it, but Tony Beasley let him know. And the only reason Delano scored on that was because of how quickly he got to top speed and how fast he is. Had a great chance to throw out some other runners, but not Delano on that one. So the pitcher was worried about him at first base. The speed and the worry caused an errant pickoff throw. That got him to second, stole third, and the catcher threw it into left field. That's a way to steal a run.
So the bases are empty. 2-2 pitch, and Andrews swings and misses. 2 away. Time for Chevy game break. Let's check it again with Dana Larson. That is awesome.
Cool.
Really very cool. Little Pudge getting it done. Meanwhile, the White Sox have to make a change. Juan Minaya is done, and the White Sox checking with that bullpen again. Advantage, and another reminder to celebrate your 4th of July with America's pastime. Come on out to the ballpark. Astros and Rangers for the final time this year at Globe Life Park on July 4th. It's a 6:05 first pitch, and then 4th of July fireworks after the game. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Should be fun. Luis Avilan, the left-hander, coming on here.
Solid numbers for Avilan. They've been much better recently, though. Opponents are 8 for 40 against him in his last 18 appearances. Only 3 earned runs in 12 innings. And he's stranded all 12 base runners. No base runners to strand right now. The lefties are only hitting about 200 against him.
And it floats in strike 1 to Mazzara. Nomar 1 for 3. Not just like that. It's an 0-2 count. Bottom of the 7th. Rangers have scored an unearned run. Push that lead to 2 runs now. Yeah, Delano using those quick feet of his and putting some pressure on the defense. The 0-2 pitch. This one hit well down the right field line, but foul. No doubt. There you go. Avilan hiding that baseball. Deals low, 1-2. He's only allowed 9 hits to left-handed hitters this season. It's in 44 at bats. Bounces that one to the plate, 2-2. So jumped ahead of Mazzara, but this is where we have seen such a dramatic change for so many Rangers hitters. And I don't know that Nomar is necessarily was ever in the conversation about guys who chase a lot. It's always been a pretty disciplined hitter. We were talking earlier about Anthony Iapoce and Justin Mayshore on the job they've done. So many of these hitters
helping them be more disciplined, looking for pitches in the zone like that one, which is flared out over short. Anderson goes out, and he'll make the play. Well, the inning is done. The Rangers, though, get a run back. We go to the 8th inning. Rangers up by 2.
Game summary. Let's show some of the Ranger runs. Big hit right there by Robinson Chirinos. That made the score 4-2. The Rangers in the 4th inning. Big hit to put the Rangers in the lead. Ryan Rua, the next inning, fly ball to right field, goes all the way to the back of the Ranger bullpen. That made it 5-2. Now it's 5-4. Delano gets a single, goes to second on an error, steals third, and comes home on a catcher's error. That gave the Rangers an insurance run, and in the 8th inning makes the score 6-4 as Jake Diekman comes on to pitch. This will be his 35th ball game. Jesse Chavez pitched the 6th and 7th innings. Gave up a run, gave up a home run to Avisail Garcia. That's a big insurance run for Delano, showing his speed. Rangers using power, speed, and Carlos Tocci comes in to play left field.
After the Rua ejection. So Matt Davidson, and he takes strike 1. Davidson, a right-handed hitter. Having a good night so far tonight with the home run and the double. Diekman slings another one up there, and the count 0-2. That one at 96 miles per hour. And Jake had a tough outing the other day. That one way up there looking. On Tuesday, Diekman suffered his first loss of the year against the Padres when he gave up 3 runs in the 8th inning of what was at the time a 2-0 game. The last couple of outings dinged him up just a touch. 4 earned runs in the last inning and 2/3 pitched.
You may look at the matchups here, and you see a lot of guys down in the Ranger bullpen, right-handers, left-handers. White Sox have right-hand hitters coming up: Davidson, Anderson, Narvaez, Engel. All right-hand batters. But Jake Diekman against righties is only giving up a 194 opponent's batting average. Lefties have actually hit higher against Jake than righties. So with that opponent's batting average at 194, Jeff Bannister feels very confident with Jake pitching to these right-hand hitters. Jose Leclerc getting warmed up in the bullpen just in case.
Hard hit ground ball, and that one off of Andrews into left field. Boy, that thing was scalded, and Davidson is on to start the 8th inning. Man, that'll be a base hit.
That had some exit velocity. Elvis is trying to play it to the side and hoping to catch it. He got the glove on it, but couldn't make the ball stay in the glove as quickly as it got to him. If he did catch it, he would have had an easy throw to first base, but catching that ball was easier said than done.
5th time they've had the leadoff man on in this one. Yesterday they did not get a leadoff man on in any inning. Anderson 1 for 3. Had the infield in the 3rd inning. And he takes low, 2-0. White Sox do have one lefty at the bottom of the order, Narvaez, who would be in the on-deck circle. And of course, all the switch hitters at the top of the order as well. Well, this one lifted high in the air. Not going to carry, although it's a windy one. Shields puts it away. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Well, tomorrow we will wrap up this 3-game series. Ronaldo Lopez, who was unbelievable last time we saw him, 8 shutout innings in Chicago. Cole Hamels
who's been very good against the White Sox in his 4 career starts. So some good pitching tomorrow. Our Ford Probables and pregame tomorrow starts at 1:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest. Hope you'll join us for that one. One away. Here is Narvaez. And he takes that one inside. Another infield hit. You know, looking every time I look up, see what a guy has done tonight. Well, he has a hit, but it was an infield hit like Anderson and Narvaez. Davidson this inning. Although maybe not the truest definition of an infield hit.
Yeah, there's soft infield hits and there's hard infield hits. I think infield hit, when you hear it, you tend to think of a little dinky ground ball that someone beat out. That was not what Davidson hit, though.
That one just misses in. So 3-0 the count to Narvaez. Narvaez has been a patient hitter in his career. Takes a strike, 3-1. Last year had a walk rate of almost 13%, which was 4th best among catchers with at least 250 plate appearances. Asks for time here and backs away. Diekman's 3-1. Well, that one looked good, and it's a full count. Bartolo Colon started the game. He left with a lead, and that's significant as this Rangers bullpen tries to hold that lead for him. 3-2. And there's ball 4. Narvaez, true to form, lays off some close pitches, draws the walk.
Let's see how close it was. Pretty close. Could have gone either way.
Jeff Bannister makes that signal. So that is it for Diekman. Jose Leclerc had been preparing. Jose Leclerc, the guy who strands more runners than anybody, and he'll be coming on here. The Rangers up by 2. Inning, but let's look ahead. Now, Saturday, July 21st, the Indians will be in town, and the first 15,000 fans to the ballpark get an Elvis Andrus Best Friends bobblehead, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. It's the second in a series of 2 Best Friends bobbleheads. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. Hopefully, you got your Adrian Beltre earlier, and you just get Elvis to get the pair. All right, Jose Leclerc on here in the 8th.
Yeah, good challenge right here for Jose Leclerc. Rangers clinging to a 6-4 lead. Couple of men on. Great numbers for Jose. A few too many walks. One thing that stands out is not giving up a home run.
He's got 2 base runners out there. Adam Engel, the speedy center fielder. Pardon me, that's Daniel Palka. Here's the other number that stands out for Leclerc. 24 of 28 inherited runners have been left out on the bases. That's the 3rd best strand percentage in the American League. Those are the guys he wants to leave out there. Davidson out at 2nd. Barres in your screen there at first base, and there's a swing and a miss. 0-2 and Sergeant Palka. Pinch hitting here for Engel.
There's that cut changeup. 81 miles an hour, had Palka way out in front of it.
Leclerc's 0-2.
And a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Well, big strikeout, 2 away.
You have to respect the 96-mile-an-hour fastball, but if you give it too much respect, you really are out in front of that pitch. Just kind of waved it the last couple. You can see it come out of his hand, break down like a curveball.
So back to the top of the order. And Okada watches one right on the outside corner for a strike. That was a pitcher's pitch right there. Okada with a base hit and a walk. He is flied out and popped out his last 2 times up. Tying runs are out there. And that one buried. Good job by Chirinos to keep it nearby.
Job by Robbie keeping that ball in front of him. The tying run at first base, you want to keep him right there.
1-1 pitch. Well, Leclerc has talked a lot last couple of weeks, and he's been getting a lot of questions about the way he has performed. He just feels very confident this year, very comfortable. There were times last year he felt like I think he got a little nervous. Those nerves sometimes caused him to be a little tentative. Now he throws those 2 changeups with great confidence. And he's got the good fastball. 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss at the changeup. 2-2.
The last couple of left-hand hitters, they're just waiting for the fastball, but he's not throwing it.
Leclerc just 24 years old. And has become a big part of this bullpen. Tying runs out there. 8th inning. And it's 2-2. Got him looking. A strike at Moncada. Back-to-back punch-outs for Leclerc.
Well, they kept waiting for the fastball, and finally they got it. Great job by Leclerc. Man on first and second, 1 out. He strikes out Daniel Palka, and then 96 miles an hour on the outside corner gets Yoan Moncada looking to preserve that 6-4 lead.
West Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. Adrian Beltre to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Rangers. Beltre, Odor, Profar in the 8th. Rangers up by 2. Won the opener yesterday. It was their largest margin of victory this year. 11-3 the score last night as this one fouled away. 1-1. And a new center fielder, Charlie Tilson, takes over for Engel in center field. One pitch. Beltre swings and lines this one toward Tilson. A slice on it. Drops in there for a hit. Second hit of the night for Adrian Beltre. 3,107.
Like an off-speed pitch, maybe a changeup. Definitely a changeup. Out of the strike zone away. Adrian hit it off the end of the bat. It did have that kind of action, Dave. Watch it. It kind of slices toward right field off the end of the bat. Softly hit. Pretty good pitch as far as the changeup, change of pace goes, but maybe not as low as he wanted it. A little harder to get the bat on it if it's down around the knees or lower.
Now Odor will take one face high for a ball. Odor is walked. It's also struck out and popped up. Rangers 6 runs on 8 hits tonight. They've left 3. It's 2-0. White Sox, meanwhile, 4 runs. They have out-hit the Rangers. 4 runs on 11 hits. They've made 2 errors, though, and they have stranded 9. Rick Renteria giving some signals from the bench. It's 2-1. And they're pretty happy with Rick Renteria in Chicago, which is saying something. They're coming off a 95-loss season last year. Renteria has a real good way of keeping things positive, though. He's bilingual, works well with everybody in that clubhouse, and they think he's the right guy to lead this turnaround effort they're going through right now on the south side. 2-1, way in.
If you're looking at wins and losses, it's way too early to judge Renteria on wins and losses. He hasn't been given the team yet. He may have the team, but it's going to take these kids a while to develop. In the meantime, the things you just talked about are the most important things. Work ethic of the players, the coaching instruction they're getting from the staff, the attitude, all the intangibles as they try to get the most out of these young players and add to it with other young players they have in their farm system. They've got a good farm system. Made those trades within the last year or so. Got rid of veteran players, brought in young players, and some of them are here, and some of the really good ones are still in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I think that's really part of the story. You know, last year when he took over in his first year, they traded 7 players from the opening day roster, you know, during the season. That's like a third of your opening day roster gone. It's fouled away in the count 3-2, and that sends a lot of signals in a clubhouse, right? I mean, everybody can pick up on that vibe. We're rebuilding, and we're not going to win this year. And they ended up losing 95 games, their 5th consecutive losing season. But as we say, he has a real good manner around that clubhouse, and they really appreciate it.
Well, if you look at some of the players who aren't here yet, the number 3 prospect in all of baseball is Eloy Jimenez. He's not here yet. Luis Robert is an intriguing guy. Cuban. He's 25th on the list. Michael Kopech, a pitcher, is 11th. They've got 8 of the top 100 prospects, and many of them were guys they acquired in trade. Between Jimenez, Robert, those are 2 good offensive players, and a lot of pitchers that have a chance as well.
There's been a lot of talk lately about Jimenez kind of knocking on the door as if he may be coming along here a little sooner than expected. Well, Beltre is on at first, bottom of the 8th inning. And along at bat here, the 3-2 bouncer, right side and through, a base hit for Odor. What a great battle, and he ends up getting his first hit of the night. More proof of the improvements and the adjustments that he's been able to make.
Yep, just go up there and grind it out each at bat. That's what he's doing now. He's not giving away as many at bats. Another good at bat against a left-handed pitcher. Worked the count to 3-2. Finally got a pitch he could handle. Battled on some tough pitches. Got one that he could hit and drove it into right field past Moncada. So in this game, he's worked a walk and got a base hit.
Well, that's going to do it for Avilan. They're going to make a change. So Rondon was working out there in the pen, and he will come in for the White Sox when we return. Against Capital, the MLB All-Star Game, July 17th, only on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Taking a look at the up-to-date AL All-Star balloting. Jose Abreu, the White Sox, leading vote getter right now at first base. Altuve, he'll be in town later this week with the Astros, leading at second base, and in fact, leading all vote getters in the American League. Manny Machado, Jose Ramirez on the
left side of the infield. Betts, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge in the outfield. Wilson Ramos. And then, of course, the DH, JD Martinez. You said it yesterday, Tom. Fans are getting pretty good at this.
They are. They are. They're not just picking names. They're picking guys that are having good years. Not like Jose Abreu, who's playing in New York, Los Angeles, or somewhere where there's huge crowds that can stuff the ballot box. Same with Ramos, the catcher in Tampa Bay.
Bruce Rondon, and his first pitch off the glove of Narvaez. A pass ball, and that allows both runners, Beltre and Odor, to advance to third and second respectively.
Oh, that's a big play for the Rangers. Go from first and second to second and third, nobody out. Get a 2-run lead. You almost force the White Sox to move their infield in. Rangers have a closer that hasn't blown a save yet. You just can't afford to give up another run, even though you give Rangers a great chance to roll one through the infield for a couple of runs. Rondon's numbers for the season, struggling a little bit. 19 walks in 25 innings. There was a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. Walks for him have told a little bit of a story this year.
He gets a strike in there. 2-1 the count on Profar. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to look at the numbers for Rondon. The short of it is he hasn't been very good. 10 runs on 10 hits and 7 walks. That's in his last 3 2/3 innings. It's low, 3-1. So it's been a big time scuffle for the right-hander. And this is not a trivial spot in the ball game. 2 men on in a 2-run game in the 8th. Maybe an indication again of just how thin things are in that pen right now. This one lined into right field. That's a base hit for Profar. It'll bring home 2 runs. Profar going for 2. The throw on the way. It's offline. A 2-run double for Jurickson Profar makes it a 4-run lead in the 8th.
Well, the Rangers are just taking advantage of their opportunities. Starting to swing the bats with men in scoring position for sure. Had a couple of big hits today. One by Chirinos with the bases loaded. Now another one late in the game by Profar. Second and third, ahead in the count. Got an off-speed pitch down. Looked like a breaking ball that kind of spun up there right in his hitting zone, and he ripped that one past first base and sprinted his way to a double on that hard hit ball. Second hit for Jurickson. He's also walked in this game.
Still nobody out. Here is Chirinos. Drove in 3 runs earlier tonight, and he takes a 97-mile-per-hour fastball in. He's grounded out, struck out. And the 3-run double in the 4th inning. He's still working with that right wrist and hand after the pick attempt at first base earlier tonight, where his follow-through came through and he hit the bat with his hand. That was while playing defense. 1-1 the count. Bruce Rondon, the 3rd reliever of the night for Chicago. First year with the White Sox. And signed as a free agent in January, last day of January this year. Previous 4 seasons in Detroit. Inside again. That one at 98 almost got Chirinos. 2-1. He's got a live arm. He's certainly struggling with some command issues this year. Here's a 2-1, and that one's way in. 28,138 our attendance tonight. Trying to Rangers 4-run lead, the 3-1, and Chirinos little tapper back toward the mound, and Rondon will boot it. I don't know that he would have had a play, but he got there with his hand and his foot at the same time, and the foot won. So Chirinos given a base hit. Rangers have him on the corners.
We talk about Bartolo Colon is a big guy who's agile and athletic. Rondon's a big guy, and I don't know that you can say the same thing about him.
So a hard hit double, and the little tapper of a base hit back toward the mound. It did look like he didn't hit it with the foot, but instead missed it with his hand. So now Joey Gallo hit his 20th home run of the season earlier tonight. Gift for Rondon, 1-1. Keone Kela had been working out in the bullpen. When he started, it was a 2-run game, and you're thinking, well, safe spot, of course, but he has sat down. Chris Martin now with a 4-run lead. Looks as if he will get the chance in the 9th inning.
And if no one warms up, this has got a chance to be more than a 4-run lead. Rondon's struggling, to say the least, right now. He's thrown 13 pitches, 5 strikes, 8 balls. Behind in the count right here to Joey Gallo. If he doesn't watch out, there's going to be three more runs on the board.
And here it comes. And a 2-2 count.
He challenged him with a fastball, 95 miles an hour.
Well, the Rangers in these first 2 games have scored 19 runs on 23 hits. We're not quite through game 2 yet. Full count now. Runner goes from first. Pitch is outside. That's ball 4. So Gallo walks. I need to draw a map for Rondon right now. I'm showing where the plate is. He's having a little trouble here. Bases are loaded, and Don Cooper, one of the best pitching coaches in the business, out there to give a little motivation. All right, and it also gives us a moment for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
If you look at that at bat to Joey Gallo, Rondon threw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and got a strike with it to even the count at 2-2, and then threw 2 changeups that weren't even close to walk him.
You're not working with a lot of confidence, I don't think. And you would understand, looking at the numbers, Carlos Tocci hasn't gotten a whole lot of offensive opportunities. 1-1 the count. And he was on the disabled list for a long stretch and was activated on June 2nd. Since June 2nd, And this is the final day of June today. He's appeared in 9 games, 1 start. And this is just his 5th at bat. Fouls this one away. It's 1-2 on Tochi. Tochi, the Rule 5 story, but he was selected in the Rule 5 draft from Philadelphia, but by the White Sox. The Rangers got him in a trade with Chicago after that Rule 5 draft. Now the 1-2 pitch from Rondon, and that one is out in the dirt. 2-2. Profar, Chirinos, and Gallo on the bases. 2 runs already in. Beltre and Odor, who both singled to start the inning. The first 5 batters have all reached. Full count. Well, these White Sox have been going through some tough times. Lost 10 of their last 14 games. And in danger of dropping the first 2 of this series. Rangers don't mind. Rangers have been playing good baseball lately. 3-2 pitch to Tochi, and he takes ball 4. Back-to-back walks from Rondon. It's 9-4 Rangers.
Rondon is in line to give up a lot of runs because there's nobody warmed up, and he's having a hard time getting his changeup over. His changeup 2-2, 3-2 to walk Joey Gallo. Got Carlos Tochi up there with 5 at bats this year. Throws him a 3-2 changeup and walks him too.
So now the first 6 Rangers have all reached. 3 runs across. DeShields fouls away strike 1. Delino 1 for 4 tonight. There's some White Sox fans hanging in there. Cannot be fun.
Rondon's thrown 23 pitches to 4 hitters. The 5th one now. It hadn't recorded an out. Now someone's warming up.
And a fastball in there to DeShields. 0-2. Delano getting this job today as the leadoff man. Chu given the day off today, working through a sore quad. Jace Fry looks like warming up for Chicago.
Yeah, and I think the last thing that the White Sox want to do is use him in this game. He's one of their best relievers, giving up a 141 opponent's batting average.
Shields lifts this one out over the infield, short right center. Tracked down out there by Tilson. Tagging at third base, Chirinos. He scores, so a sac fly for DeShields. It's 10-4. Everybody else stays put. Gallo at second, Rua at first. And now Elvis Andrus, who's hitless so far tonight. Elvis had hit in the previous 4 games, so that little hit streak on the line right here. And he takes inside. He was 2 for 5 yesterday with a run scored.
The Rangers have walked 4 more times in this game. 2 of the walks scored in the 4th inning, back-to-back walks by Rodon. Both of them scored, and a couple of walks in this inning. They haven't scored yet, but they definitely moved runners into scoring position. The Rangers, a lot of good at bats with men in scoring position. Good situational hitting.
Well, this offense continues to click. Now, to your point, they're getting a little help. But to their credit, they take advantage of it. They've won 10 of their last 12 games. Much better baseball. The 1-1. This one driven out to center field. Oh, Tilson fell down. And that one will go to the fence. Gallo's in. Tochi behind him. Andrews heads to third. A 2-run triple, and it's 12-4 Rangers.
Now the 2 walks have scored. Rangers have had 4 walks, and every one of them has scored. Yeah, Tilson fell down on that ball. I don't know that it mattered. I don't think he would have gotten to it anyway. Might have had a chance, but Elvis really barreled this ball into right center field. And I don't think Tilson was going to get there anyway. It goes as a 2-run triple. Might have been a 2-run double instead of a 2-run triple. Struggles for Rodon continue.
And for Tilson.
And for Tilson. He's had a couple of
yesterday
games.
I mean, boy, oh boy. He came in as a defensive replacement here tonight. So Mazara now. And he takes low and in. So this was last night in left field for Tilson. And it looked like a routine fly ball to end the inning. But it wasn't. Or it didn't.
Really, the couple of steps he took coming off the field made it look like he thought he caught it. That ball never even hit the pocket of his glove.
Ninth batter of the inning for the Rangers. Rangers 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight. Nomar has 1 hit so far. Whoop, that one gets away, but Andrews not going to take any liberties. So with an 8-run lead, Elvis just let that one go.
Yeah, let that one go and let Nomar get an RBI.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking of it. Well, this Rangers offense, 6th game now, scoring in double-digit runs. 6 times since May 1st. 2nd highest total in the American League in that span.
32 pitches for Rondon, and he's only had 1 out.
This one hit hard up the middle, base hit. Mazara does pick up the RBI. Andrews scores. That's number 55 for Mazara. It's 13-4. You feel bad at times for guys, and right now for Rondon you almost have to have a little sympathy. He's done. He just can't figure it out right now, and Rick Renteria goes deeper still into that pin with the Rangers up by 9. As we continue here in the 8th inning. When this inning started, that was a full moon. Hey, take home a little bit of snow this July. The first 15,000 fans to the ballpark on Friday, July 20th. We'll get the Celebration Snow Globe, courtesy of Powerade and Kroger. The Cleveland Indians, Texas Rangers, a 7:05 game, and you get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. And Jace Fry indeed has to come into this game.
Yeah, he's been pitching well all season long, but especially lately. He's only given up 1 earned run in his last 10 innings. In those 10 innings, he's struck out 15, and opponents are hitting 139. So he's on a nice roll. In a blowout manager's not too thrilled about having to use one of his best bullpen pieces, but that's the way it is right now. Just to get this inning over with, he had to. Rondon, thrown well over 30 pitches, only had 1 out and showed no signs of being able to get anyone else out.
Yesterday, the Rangers had a 7-run inning. It was their first and largest of the kind this year. It's a little roller foul. They've matched that here in the 8th inning. Another 7-run inning. But how about this time? You look at looking at my scorecard here. Every Ranger in the lineup has either scored a run or driven in a run in this inning. Man, Beltre started it with a single. 1-2, and it's in the dirt. So, talking about big innings. 5 or more in an inning now 6 times in the last 14 games. That's including tonight, and they've done it 9 times total this season. So that just gives you an idea that lately they have been churning a very high rate. In fact, you know, Elvis was up a little bit ago this inning, and I was just looking, since he has come back off the disabled list, this is his 10th start. In his first 9 starts since coming off the DL, the team has gone 8-1. A chance to go 9-1 with this one tonight. So, and we've heard it over and over again. He has not had many real big nights at the plate since he's come back. It's been Chu, Odor, whomever. And every time in the post-game interview, when we ask him about it, they all say, you know, it really has made a big difference to have Elvis back. Makes the lineup better, clubhouse better. Just everything's better with Elvis. And certainly the wins and losses have proven that out. Full count on Beltre. Has 2 hits tonight. And he takes ball 4. So Fry comes in and walks the first man he sees.
What Rick Renteria is hoping is that Fry doesn't take 20 or 25 pitches to get out of this inning. He's hoping Fry can come in, get this inning over with for the White Sox with a minimum of pitches, hopefully be available for tomorrow's game. But so far that's not the case. 8 pitches to walk Adrian.
Now Odor, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Fry is the 3rd pitcher of the inning for the White Sox. Avilan started the inning, gave up 2 singles before giving way to Rondon. Now the count 0-2. A late start tonight, started at 8:05. We come back tomorrow, an afternoon game, a 2 o'clock first pitch. And this one in the dirt. Ball and 2 strikes on Rugi. We might see a slightly different looking White Sox team tomorrow. Just given what their bullpen has gone through, they're going to need some fresh arms. Or they might just, you know, want to change things up a little bit. But I would think with some of the work that's had to have been turned in lately, they might need to go bring a body or 2 up for tomorrow's game, if they can get somebody here in time. Two and 2. Rangers have been at bat for 35 minutes in this half inning. And we'll see what kind of injury time they award at the end of this.
Well, there's only 1 out.
Man. Full count now on Odor. Let's see, the Rangers have drawn 3 walks already in the inning. The only out, you pointed out that there's only 1 out. It was a sac fly. It brought in a run. It was a productive out, 3-2 pitch. That's fouled away. We'll do it again. Last inning, there were a couple of errors by the White Sox. This inning, a pass ball, 3 walks. And even that little dribbler back to the mound that Rondon couldn't get cleanly. And the ball that went over Tilson's head when he fell down in center field. The 3-2. Little dribbler foul. And this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat.
Back-to-back 8-pitch at bats, and if it's a ball, he will have walked both guys. Will have thrown 16 pitches and had 2 men on base and no outs.
9 pitch at bat. So Fry laboring a little bit. "3-2. And a swing and a miss. So Odor strikes out. But it took 9 pitches to get him. 2 away.
.91-mile-an-hour slider, cutter. Talked about Fry and the nice season he's having. He's been pitching great lately. 31 strikeouts overall in 24 innings, though. And only 12 hits, a 141 opponent's batting average.
Off the plate to Profar. 2 hits tonight, a walk, scored a couple runs, driven in a pair. Good night for Jurickson. A chance to do more damage with Mazzara at second, Beltre at first base.
Yeah, Jurickson's knocked in 29 runs now in his last 37 games. Now, he's been productive. His average has hovered around 240, but the production has been there. Extra base hits, RBIs.
Two and 1. Made some nice plays tonight at third base as well. Fry at 20 pitches in the inning now, and he misses outside. 3 and 1.
And they're over 50 for the inning, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Rondon had 30 something.
Yeah.
Might be pushing 60 before they get out of here.
And this is going to require some serious addition here. This one lined up the middle, and Moncada is there to tuck it away to end the inning. The Rangers will have to settle for 7 runs in the 8th. 9th inning coming. Rangers trying to protect a 9-run lead.
9-run lead. 7 in the 8th there for the Rangers, and that means they have a chance to have a larger margin of victory than in last night's blowout win over Chicago. Hi there, Dana Larson, Mike Bassick with you. We'll have the post-game show coming up right after the game. Lots to talk about tonight, Mike.
Yeah, it seems like a long time ago, but we'll talk about Bartolo Colon and his magic and how he wiggled his way out of some jams early on in this game.
Lots of pitching to talk about, clutch hitting as well, and we'll hear from the key players all coming up right after the game, guys.
All right, thanks, Dana. Mike, we will look forward to that. 9th inning, and Chris Martin making his 27th appearance. And he's got a lot of room here within a 9-run lead. You would expect, and certainly hope, that he's a guy coming in to throw some strikes here. Sanchez, Abreu, and Garcia. The batters due for the White Sox, 2, 3, and 4 hitters.
Well, in all of the mayhem that we have seen here tonight, and we have seen a lot of it, Mike Bacsik was just saying, and I think, you know, your risk of almost forgetting about it. Bartolo left this game with a lead. Rangers never relinquished that lead. And should they finish this thing off here in the 9th inning, he would tie Dennis Martinez for the most wins of any Latin-born pitcher, with 245 in his career.
Yeah, so much has happened since he left. Lose track of the fact that he was on the ropes early in the game and then finished strongly. 3 strong innings after the 2nd inning. 2nd inning, very unusual for him to walk 2 batters and throw 30 pitches. But he rebounded from that and is in position to get a win. Didn't look like it was going to be that way in the 2nd inning. Credit to him for doing it.
2-1, and this one lifted foul out of play. So Bartolo recently got the record for the most wins of any Dominican-born pitcher when he passed Juan Marichal, but tonight he would tie Dennis Martinez, he of Nicaragua, with 245 victories in his career, most among any Latin-born pitchers in the big leagues. And there is strike 3 called. Sanchez goes down looking to start the 9th inning. So Martin was throwing strikes this inning.
A good fastball outside corner, right there on the outside corner. Well located pitch. Probably not going to get that call at this stage of the ball game.
So 1 away. Abreu takes one for a strike. Now Abreu with a walk tonight. That's really all he has to show for it. Good breaking ball there, and the count 0-2. You bounce into a double play in the 7th inning. So Martin coming out here, the Arlington native, throwing strikes, punched out Yolmer Sanchez. Jumps ahead of Abreu, and this is a White Sox team right now reeling. It's a little low. One fouled away. So if you're Rick Renteria, Tom, and you've watched your team go through this tonight, and I mean, look, you pointed out earlier, they've lost 10 of their last 14. It's a tough go. A lot of youth. We see some of the mistakes comes along with that. Do you even bother talking about this one tonight?
No, I think you just chalk it off. And you know, he's evidently created a good atmosphere with the team. They know they're rebuilding. They know they've got some talent here. They've got some talent coming. It's just going to take patience. And along the way, you're going to have games like this. You know, even good teams have games like this. It's not like anyone's immune from this kind of a ball game. But they're going through a tough stretch. You know, they played a 13-inning game and got in here at whatever, 4 o'clock in the morning. So they came in tired. They came in with a tired bullpen. And it's still that way. And so it probably looks a little bit worse right now than it really is. But at the same time, if you're the manager, your job is the future and keeping the guys in the right frame of mind, keeping a positive attitude, working hard, doing all the little things it takes to teach players to get better and look for the future. Not much you can do about this.
Bouncer left side, Profar to second. They'll get the force out there, 2 away. 5-4 the put out. Not to pour any salt in the wounds, but what if I told you this was the front end of a 10-game road trip for the White Sox?
It sends them back to Cincinnati and then returns them to Texas to play the Astros of all teams.
Yeah, you know, it's 162 games over the course of 6 months. You just go through periods like this. You know, the Rangers were in a bad streak there earlier, and you wondered, was there light at the end of the tunnel? And you know, you just keep battling. Manager and the coaching staff continue to create positive feeling in the clubhouse, give the players a chance to work hard and succeed, and eventually it's come around nicely for them. I'm not saying it's going to come around like that for the White Sox. Who knows? Might not be this year, but the groundwork's being laid for a good team in the future. And you just have to understand, which people in baseball do. Certainly Rick Renneria understands that. He's been in baseball a long time. You just have to put a game like this behind you, come out tomorrow, make sure the guys are ready to play a ball game.
Well, they've got Ronaldo Lopez going tomorrow. Really bright young pitcher for them. And Cole Hamels going for the Rangers. Ronaldo Lopez, after his last start, did you see his quotes after the last start he made?
No.
Said that the team looked like a bunch of clowns.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say it, but
yeah. So that's what we're looking forward to tomorrow. We talked about it earlier. Lopez and Hamels. Lopez very good against the Rangers last time we saw them in May. But yeah, he said we look like a bunch of clowns out there, and he said myself included. And Renteria said, hey, look, he said it, it's true. We haven't looked good. And he thought it took a little courage to say it, throw himself and his teammates on the bus like that.
It would have been a little bit different if he didn't include himself. But the fact is, he's had a pretty good season so far, and he definitely didn't look like a clown when he pitched against the Rangers last time. 96 to 98 mile-an-hour fastball. He was in command of that game for 8 innings. He was untouchable.
Bouncer second base. That should do it. Odor struggles, but he gets it over to Gallo in time. And that will end this one mercifully. 13-4. The Rangers roll. And a little history for Bartolo Colon. He now sits right beside Dennis Martinez. Most career wins among Latin-born pitchers. Number 245 in his 21-year career. Congratulations to Bartolo. A nice win for the Rangers. They've taken the first 2 of this series and could go for the sweep behind Cole Hamels tomorrow. Now Dana Larson and Mike Bassett standing by back at the studio, ready to break this one down for you tonight. For Tom Grieve, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. More Rangers coverage continuing right after this.